Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to another Craft and Chat. I'm Sinead, and I wanted to give a little update on one of the dresses I had here that had bats on it for the Halloween season, and my youngest took that dress and ran. So I'm not going to do anything to it. They're enjoying it. They get to wear it to work and share it with their coworkers, and they're just generally having fun with it. It's something that they wanted for a while, so I'm glad to have moved it along out of my project pile with absolutely zero effort. I have 3 projects for you today, and let's just jump right in and get started. The first project we're going to do is add a collar to the space outfit, which I don't think the skirt dress combo here was in last week's video. I think it was all jumpsuits. So we're going to add this style collar to the space jumpsuit so that if it's something you want to do, it kind of adds that extra element. And I also wanted to share, these guys here are just giving me all the dopamine. I just cannot even explain why these two in their VDC Raggedy Ann costumes it's just so delightful. So I had to share it. So let's move over to the sewing machine area and let me show you how to create the collar. Well, here's Cindy, and I don't think she had the skirt on, but you know, the purple skirt is kind of fun, and I like the way it looks with her hair. So we're going to give her a collar. So I've taken, this is a scrap piece of cardstock. You could use a piece of paper, an actual 3x5 card, but I folded it in half both directions just to kind of give me guidelines. And then we're going to snip to the center along this short direction and then fold it in half the long way. And then we're going to try and cut a neck hole. Now the thing about cutting the neck hole is you can just keep going. If it's not the right size, giving it another go. But for this particular style, I am trying to keep it in a diamond shape. I think it adds to the space impression, and I think it needs to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go a little bit wider and a lot deeper. And the goal is just to try and keep it equal on both sides, but you can see from my fold, I'm a little off. Yeah, that could be evened out. Although I'm not sure that that's the side I should have cut. Okay, I think that, wow, that's actually a pretty good square instead of a diamond. Now, being that it is cardstock, we're having to deal with that stiffness of paper. And that looks pretty good as far as size goes. Then you're going to kind of get a feel for how far out you want the point over here. And I'm holding it in the back, kind of crossed over. Pull it down in front, hold it with your thumb. And of course, I don't have a marking utensil out here that I can use. Nope, can't get to that either. Okay, so you would make a mark wherever you wanted to cut from. And then draw a line. You know what? She's going to have her hair redone. I got caught on it. So I'm thinking I dropped this, so now of course there's no lead. Approximately there. And then we're going to draw a line from there to there. Not best done while on doll. Okay. Let's see. Do I have a straight edge? No. So what you probably want for this is a straight edge. Yeah, definitely. Excuse me a minute. Everything's across the desk and I can't reach it. So line up your two spots. There you go. Nice, dark, solid line. Then refold and use the first cut. You can either draw it, which I think is easier, for me anyway. And then just, you've got it drawn, refold. Okay, then you're going to try it back on your doll. And what we're going to do in the back is we're going to put a snap that will overlap these and make this cute design on her back. Not that you ever see the back of the doll. Her hair will cover it, but I kind of like to keep it cute. I think that's cute. Putting the little V back there. It's kind of like a nod to Star Trek and their symbol. It's a very general, very kind of off to the left. Anyway, there we go. That is our pattern. I like how far out those are sticking, but if you find at this point that you want it more narrow, you can just bring it in and do that whole process again to bring it to with the straight edge and everything again. Here is the one that the pattern from the other one, and it is narrower. We're going to go with this. Hopefully it'll fit on the piece of fabric. So I have a piece of silver lame. It has stretch, and I'm not really wanting to take advantage of that stretch. So I have ironed a piece. I don't know if you can see that I've ironed something on there. A piece of interfacing. Wow, when the words just disappear. So I ironed a piece of iron-on interfacing. It kind of will stay on permanently. It depends on the fabric, how much it gets handled. But yeah, I've done that, and it'll cut back on how much stretch this continues to do. Now you can either put it on here with the grain of the my interfacing is cotton, so it has a grain, and I'm realizing that if you're using polyester interfacing, there's no grain. So whichever direction it fits, or you like the orientation, I think that mine actually fits on this fabric better this direction. So I am going to trace this and cut it out. Just love it when my own hands get in the way. And my advice on doing the split here is to fold the one piece back and then draw the line that way. Okay, so we've got all our lines transferred. These scissors will not cut that. And I apologize for the mess on the desk. Yeah, I'm trying to do like way too many things at once. So try and get a nice smooth cut across there, because we're not going to hem it. We're not going to do anything to finish the edges. If you want to put some anti-fraying on there. You can, I have never done that with lame, and I don't know if it shows, you know, like a, does it react badly? So do a test swatch. Okay, so I've got a little spot there I'm gonna clean up. Now, because I lifted one side, the line here is not going to line up with the corner. So I'm going to cut next to that line we drew. And then continue around the collar. I guess that would be inside the collar. Now, if you're in, you know, like press for time and you don't want to take the time to sew on a snap, or you just don't want to sew, you can take one of your straight pins, and after you've put it on the doll, just put a pin through there. But know that anything you put through here, like a pin, is going to leave a hole, it's going to leave a mark. You could even use blue tack to hold this closed if you wanted to. But here we go, making our Cindy's space jumpsuit just a little bit more spacey, if you will. I keep going off that camera, sorry. And that's the first project finished. So we're going to move on to the next one. I've been watching my Froggy Stuff recycle plastic packaging into water details over the summer, and then again just recently for an Ariel doll. And I want to do a apple dunking for apples detail in my Halloween party. So I cut out a piece of packaging plastic that fits in here, and I used a leather punch for the holes. Now you could use your X-Acto blade to cut out holes, but just make sure that your apples don't just fall through. Let's see. You want them to sit on top. And keep getting residual pieces of plastic. So that they look like they're floating in the water. And these are some really old Michael's apples. And I am assuming that Michael's and other craft stores and maybe even some miniature shops carry the little wooden apples still, or some equivalent thereof. But I don't use hot glue. That's just not something that I do. So I was going to try some Dimensional Magic, which is called, I guess it's Dimensional Magic if it's by Mod Podge, but I've got some Diamond Glaze by Judy Kins. It's a water-based dimensional adhesive. So it's basically glue. This one doesn't have a strong aroma, which is part of the reason why I'm using it. I've never used the Mod Podge one. So, you know, let me know if you have and whether or not it has a really strong smell. So I was just going to put some circles around, kind of that wave pattern that happens when you plop the apples in. And assuming that yes, there we go. I was going to say, I haven't opened and used this in a while. So, and the only thing about using this over, say something like a glue gun, which is basically melted plastic, is that you do have to wait for it to dry. I've had a lot of success with some really cool effects using this particular brand. And so I can recommend it. And it'll be much later today. We'll come back and visit it and see how it looks. You think that's enough yet? Who's been stirring in the pot, right? I don't know. My kids used to stick their hands down in the apple bucket and stir it around. They were not ones for leaving it alone. So we'll set this aside to dry, and then we'll see later what it looks like. Now I want to show you some paper bags that the cool thing is you can make them the size, any size you want, and decorate them however you want. These I did several years ago. They were sized for some 11-inch dolls, I believe. And you can make them bigger or smaller depending on how you want to use them, because they can be treat bags for a party you're having to send home little treats with human attendees, or you can make them small for smaller dolls, or, you know, just about any size, because all it is taking a piece of the paper from, well, I'm using a grocery bag. I had some plain brown grocery bags, and that's what I'm going to use. If they've got something on them, just use the inside. You know, if there's a logo on the outside, just use the inside for what you want to do. And I will get out a ruler and some other supplies and be back. Okay, what I've done is, it was easiest for me to take, this is the size of the front of the bag that I wanted, and I just used the established folds that were here. You definitely don't have to do that. It was just, in my mind, easier for trying to accomplish a larger bag than the little ones that I made before. And the depth of the bag, how big you want it to be along the side. How much depth do you want along the side? Sorry about being off camera. That is the measurement that you want to establish here. And then this is half of the front. So half of whatever the front is, plus enough for overlap. And I'm going to have a whole lot of overlap. Then you want to put over half of this side depth on the bottom so that it can overlap and have glue. So it's got to be a little over half, and I just like to round up to like a centimeter over half, and then I have plenty to work with. And then we're going to just cut out this outside and glue and fold it up. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold along that line that creates the bottom. And this is for folding. One of the things I think I did, it's not necessary. You can just fold up your bags and then decorate them. But it might be easier to decorate the front however you want to decorate it. And I'm thinking I'm going to use stickers. I have some stickers that I think I want to use for this. So I'm going to start by folding everything up. Oh yeah, and the other thing that needs to happen here is along these folds, so that this will fold easily, is you can take out a little pie shape along your folds. And sometimes it's easier to do this after you've folded, because then, you know, you've got a fold to go by if you didn't draw your lines all the way down, like I didn't. So I am most likely going to make these folds so that I can have a guide. doesn't look right. That is not right. That's a cut line. I mistakenly thought that that other thing was the cut line. Okay. See, extraneous cut lines. Okay. You end up with too many sections, you know, you got to go back and do it. You got to check yourself. Okay. And the easiest way to do this gluing is to fold. Okay, so if this is your front, that's your front. Need to get further from the camera, don't I? That's your front and one side, and then you should have the back and one side distance. So that's the amount of overlap you're going to need, is whatever lands right there. And so you just glue that down, whichever side you want on top. Glue it down. I got to go find some glue. Okay, you got that back glued up. So now you're going to fold in on those fold lines you created, the bottom. And you can put glue here on the tabs, or you can just skip that and only glue here, the bottom. I am gonna find something to slide up in here and press against. Ooh, I chose something heavy. I'm not sure that that was a good plan. Now I gotta hold on to it. Okay. Apparently missed the tabs there. Yeah, that's a little heavy. So we're gonna unfold it. Do it out here. There we go. Drop things. It's great. I want to know why that isn't sticking. How did I miss the glue there? Okay. Back side down first. Okay, I am trying to stick my hand up in here and have something to press against. And then the front tab. I guess that's not actually a tab, but it kind of makes me think of a tab. And then you can set it down, I guess. Take that large heavy thing and use it to press down. Or any other tool you've got. Like, I could have done that with a ruler. And there I've got a bag. You can use twine for the handles, which is what I'm going to do. You can punch holes and tie it through, or like I did here, there is a piece of the paper glued over the top of the handles to hold them in place. So that's up to you. I think just gluing the twine in place doesn't hold all that well. So I'm going to go find some twine. Well, I got some pretty hefty twine here, so I am going to glue and then put holes because, you know, I had to be different this time. And I don't think that putting holes without some reinforcement with that heavier twine. Now, if I was using the lighter weight twine, then yeah, I wouldn't need reinforcement. So it's like whatever you've got on hand that you want to use, kind of decide whether or not it's going to pull too hard on your paper. And again, what paper did you use? So we're just Sticking that in there. Gonna find that hole punch, maybe. There it is. Okay, now I'm gonna take this chance here that I am gonna get this kind of close to right. Don't put it too close to the edge. Oh, these are old, and it is cranky. And wet glue. I'm rushing things. You should wait till your glue is dry. It always makes it harder when it's damp. Even glue stick is not immediate. We're going to try and match. See, the second hole went better than the first hole. And that is still stuck to me. Let go. Yep. Go around with these little brown circles stuck to my fingers and find them later going, where did that come from and how did it get here? That's kind of ridiculous. And what I have a tendency to do, because I'm not interested in fighting with getting a knot big enough, is putting it through, deciding on a length. Ooh, we're curly. Straightening out the curl. Deciding that length looks good, or maybe a little shorter. And then cutting. Well, it's time for me to get some new scissors. Oh, I'm gonna have to justify that at some point. And then putting a square knot in on this ends here, and I don't think that was a square knot. That may have been a granny knot. Anyway, rather than trying to get a knot on the end of each side and having it not pull through the holes, you just knot them together. And I'll just repeat that on the back side and then get my stickers. I am going to try again to show you a square knot. Let's see. Yeah, that's what a square knot should look like. And there are some great YouTube demos. I have a knot book that I refer to whenever I can't remember. I found a bat sticker, but it isn't wanting to stick. So we're going to use the glue stick and make it stick. No getting out of sticking here. Of course, it's going to stick to me and not the bag, right? I also want to show you how to fold your bag so that it can fold up. I mean, right now it's not folded, and you don't have to actually fold it, but if you want to, push your sides in and kind of keep them even and work your way down, and it will create a triangle down here, and you're just gonna press into that triangle on both sides like so, and then flip it up towards the back, and it will create the appropriate crease back there. Oh, and another piece of advice would be that if you're drawing this out, see how you can see the lines at the edges, maybe, especially that one. You could have drawn on the wrong side, the side you didn't want out. That would have made sense. Look at me thinking of it after the fact. Okay, I have some candy corn here. Do I want to put it on the front with the bat? Or leave the bat alone? I don't know, it's sparkly. It's kind of hard to not. Ooh, wow, these are thin. He got himself some candy corn. Giant candy corn. He's so happy. I think I'm going to stick the other candy corn on the back. Because, you know, it's a candy bag. Gotta have candy corn. Even if you don't eat it. It's like necessary for the season or something. I'm kidding. Ooh, you know what would be cool is if I could find a little spider. Stick a little spider. But we're going to just stop there. And that is a really good size for an 18-inch doll or a 20-inch doll. Or your guests at a party, if you want to give them treat bags to take home with little mementos or pencils and erasers or whatever it is that you want to stick in a little treat bag for somebody to take home. That's always kind of fun, even for adults, to have a little treat bag for the party you attended. It's silly, and we all need silly. We got little tumblers, or this one actually is short enough it could be a bowl, back from firing, and some of these are going to go into the shop, and I will the ones that get listed in the shop will have measurements so that you know what it is you're getting. Wow, that one is so straight, perfect little tumbler. And now that I've picked them all up into my hand, I have to put them down. Plates. These plates are so cool with their glaze. And yeah, Cindy's going to get some of these, I think, because I think we have an odd number. But there's enough here that I will list quite a few of them in the shop. So you can go and get yourselves some little miniature plates. Yeah, I think these are really turned out really cool. So we've got full glaze on the food surface side, and the back side is bare, and each one is unique in its pattern, and that is a midnight blue and a somewhat greenish, like sage green color combination. I apologize for the dog interruption, but yeah, keep an eye out. Look for in the shop. These should be listed by the time this video comes out, definitely. Hopefully they haven't sold out if that's what you got your eye on. And yeah, I even went over to the dollhouse while after dealing with the barkiness, and found this one that is unique and fun and is really good size for the 16-inch fashion dolls to add to the shop as well. You know, can't overwhelm my cabinets in there, so I pull one out every time I put a new one in. Okay, it's dry, and as you can see, gave it nice texture on the water. And I know from experience that it's really easy to add color to it. I've even done some glow in the dark in the past. And you just mix it in and then apply it. But I really kind of am loving that effect. So just set it in the pan, my apple dunking pan. Try and get it level. That's going to be the hard part. Just because I'm not very coordinated. I'm taking advantage of those holes. Come on. You know it's just because I'm being watched. Okay. There we go. Dunking for apples. I like it. Here are some little 6-inch ball jointed dolls that I have. And in the shop, there is a pattern for a Halloween costume elements. If you have 6-inch dolls that you need to get ready for the holiday. And it also works for the mini American Girl, most of the elements. The hats, not so much, but the outfits themselves, and there's quite a few different little pieces available. There's also pajamas for these size dolls, and Other fun little things, the hat with the ears. The hat is in a part of a pattern that you purchase, and the ears are a part of the free patterns. And I just hope that you have enjoyed this craft and chat, and that you come away with something to enrich your Halloween. I'll see ya on Friday with some more work in the dollhouse. Bye-bye.